of my thoughts about DraftKings. So I'm looking at the Saturday lineup for the main lineup where it's 7:05 games on Saturday. Obviously, we'll start with pitchers and then we'll move on to the rest of your lineup and how to build the rest of your lineup. So the first thing that obviously jumps out is Clayton Kershaw has a great matchup versus San Diego. If you're playing cash games where it's 50-50 or a one-on-one guy, I think that's a great option because he's not going to let you down. He's going to have rock solid performance, but he just costs too much money for a GPP, a big contest where you got to finish in the top 10 or 20% or something. He just costs too much when there's a lot of juicy pitcher matchups today for hitters. So cash games, sure, if you want to throw Kershaw in there, go for it. Big pools, I would lean against going with Kershaw. If you're not going to go with Kershaw, I would take either Garrett Cole or Julio Teheran to be my ace for the day. Both are at home. Teheran with a little bit of a better matchup. Cole obviously has a little bit more upside. He gets more strikeouts and everything like that. He is playing Milwaukee, who's a pretty good offense, but when they're away from Milwaukee, they're not as effective. And in Pittsburgh tends to swallow balls up. So I like that for both of them. He's been pitching better recently, getting a lot of strikeouts. So Cole at 9,600 or Julio at 8,600, I think are good options. If you scroll down a little bit further, I like Amir Garrett. He's at home and in Cincinnati, which is obviously not a good place to pitch, but he's playing against San Francisco, who's pretty punchless right now. We'll just go down a little bit further. There's some value maybe in JC Ramirez, who has been pitching pretty decently so far this season. I like that at a price of 6,800. So pretty much what I would do is I would try to spend about 15,000 on my pitchers combined. So that's you take Cole and then you take JC Ramirez and you're more like 16,000, so you're a little bit high, but I think that's a good matchup. There's a lot of crap down at the bottom that I'm just not comfortable touching. If I had, I really just can't. I just don't really see much down there. I don't see a lot of upside, so that's where I would go with that. I would probably take those guys. I understand if you want to take. No, I really don't, to be totally honest. There's really just not much down there. So moving on, we'll look at catcher. Catcher is always kind of a crapshoot. Biggest thing about catcher is you want to make sure that they're playing that day. Gary Sanchez is back and he's off the DL, so I expect a lot of people to play him because it's their first opportunity to. And he's obviously a very popular player. Got a lot of hype preseason. Who else do we have? Posey, who talked about playing against Amir Garrett. Decent option, just too expensive for my taste. I'd rather spend my money elsewhere. So I'm gonna scroll down, and one of the guys that I really like because he has power and he has potential to score you a ton of points on any given day, Yasmani Grandal. He's at 3,400, which I think is a good price. He's against Clayton Richard, who's not good at throwing baseballs. JT Realmuto is hitting very well so far this season. He's at 3,300. That is probably where I would go. He doesn't have a lot of big games, but he's going to get you solid. He's good for a couple hits kind of games. So I think I would roll with that right now. Let me see if there's anybody else down here lower that I like. Not particularly, but like I said, with catcher, just make sure that they're playing. If you want to punt catcher, I think I'm totally fine with that on any day versus any matchup, whatever's going on. So when you get to first base, obviously you got the studs. You got Goldschmidt is in Colorado, so anybody on Arizona is going to cost a lot, but they're in Colorado, so the potential is huge. The guy that I like down here, Freddie Freeman, has just been absolutely crushing the ball. He's at home. Mike Leake is not that good, I don't think, even though he's pitching well right now. So I think that that is a very, very good play. If we scroll down a little bit further for some value plays, Jay Bruce is hitting a lot of homers. Omer D. Champagne stinks. So that's a good one at 4,000. Scroll down a little bit further. Not too much that I'm seeing down here. But my guy about the other video, so this is perfect. Yeah, play Yonder Alonso. He's $2,900. He's dirt cheap. He's going against Jordan Zimmerman, who stinks on ice. That is a matchup that I would absolutely take advantage of, and he's super cheap. Moving on to second base. Pretty much you got the regulars at top. You got the guys playing in cores. Let's see who I like here at second base. I'm scrolling down to try to get some value plays here. Cesar Hernandez at 3,400 I think is a good play. He's been hitting the ball well. He's fast. AJ Cole isn't that good. Let's see what else we got here. Not too much here that I like. Colton Wong always hits better versus righties, so I know we talked about starting Julio before, but Julio is a righty, so if you wanted to punt second base, I think that would be a decent option right there. So also Starlin Castro is doing really well. Brett Anderson isn't that good, so those are some good second base options. Third base, really hard not to put Nolan in here. Against Patrick Corbin, who stinks at home in Colorado, that just is really hard to pass up. And it's not too expensive at five grand. He certainly could put up those kind of numbers. If we scroll down a little bit further, I know Kyle Seager is not having the best season, but Martin Perez is not very good, and that's who's throwing to him. I really like Justin Turner. I think he's one of the most underrated players in baseball. He's hitting almost 400 right now. He hits, and he's got a good matchup against San Diego. If we scroll down a little bit further, yeah, I'm just not seeing too much towards the bottom. I think you got some better options towards the top. At third base, Miguel Gonzalez is hitting a lot of random homers, though. I don't know if it'll stay up. I'm not projecting that to be a full season thing, but right now he's on fire and he's pretty cheap. And Joey Gallo is always a good punt candidate because he's always a possibility for a home run. And he's only at like 3,000. Shortstop, let's see. Tough to start Owings there as much as you like him in Colorado. Trying to find some value at shortstop. I just don't really see it. I think you're better off going with a stud here. Correa, Seager, Trey Turner's the highest. I would skip Trey Turner. There's not going to be a lot of homers there, so his dribble is okay, but he's a little bit overpriced, I think. So I would stick with a stud at shortstop. Go Correa, go Seager. Let's just check out some outfielders that we like. Love AJ Pollock in cores, obviously. Love Charlie Blackmon in cores, obviously. Bryce Harper in Philadelphia is always a beautiful thing. Let's try to find some value guys here. Chris Davis gets the hit off Jordan Zimmerman, and Chris Davis hits a lot of homers, and Jordan Zimmerman gives up a lot of homers. That's a good one. Ender Inciarte has been good recently. I mean, 3,700 is not really a great value, but could be some positive. Could be some value there. And try to find some sleepers to look at where I particularly like the matchups. Well, Cody Bellinger is dirt cheap. And like I said, Clayton Richard's not that good. So I think that has some opportunity there. Hernan Perez, he kind of is a boomer bust guy, so a GPP guy. You could play in those big contests, either as big games or, maybe put you up an offer. Let's see. Aaron Hicks is absolutely mashing right now, but Brett Anderson is a lefty, so probably, Aaron Hicks is a switch hitter. So that might be somebody to look at cheaper down your lineup. If he's playing, you just want to make sure that he's in. So check your lineup right before the game start. Who else is down here that might be able to take advantage of the matchup? Yeah, I'm not seeing too much else that I really like. But that should be a good start to building your team. Scrolling back up through the top of the players. Michael Conforto, 3,600. He's hitting the ball really well right now. He's just a really good hitter. So, and he's got some power in there too. So I like that. Let's see if there's anybody here that I would fade towards the top. Oh man, Desmond in Colorado. I love putting all the Colorado guys in there. You just can't afford it because they put so much in there. Aaron Judge's price has really gone up, which obviously he's been hitting the ball like crazy, but a matchup against Brett Anderson is a positive matchup for him. So I wouldn't necessarily fade that. I would fade Kyle Schwarber. I would not play Kyle Schwarber today. He is against Jordan Montgomery, who's a lefty, and he's just overall struggling a little bit. So I would pass on Kyle Schwarber at 44. Shame they took away that catcher eligibility. Other than that, I think everybody is relatively correctly priced. So I guess that about wraps it up. Good luck with it. Oh, definitely fade Billy Hamilton. When guys just have no chance at home runs, I know steals are worth some, and sometimes you can have 4 or 5 steals in a game, but I'm not into it. It just lowers the ceiling. Like, you're never going to have a game in a GPP where you need to in a GPP where Billy Hamilton hits 2 homers. It's just he's never going to win you a game like that. Even if he steals 4 bases, you need to steal 3 bases to pass 1 home run. So I would rather take the guy with a chance to hit a homer than the guy with no chance to hit a homer. In a cash game, a little bit different where you're just trying to get a good baseline. It's understandable to take Billy Hamilton, but overall, for the most part, I'm fading Billy Hamilton. Yeah, I think that about wraps it up. Yeah, don't put Avisel Garcia in your lineups either. It's another guy I'm coming across. Like, he's the same price as Chris Davis. That's just not a comparison at all. Chris Davis can win you the biggest contest ever by hitting 3 homers on any given day. He just has that kind of power. And Jordan Zimmerman is the exact kind of pitcher you want to throw to him. Yeah, I think that wraps up my thoughts for today. So I hope this is good for you guys. Hope you like the breakdown. And good luck in your contests.